I just wanted to talk to you guys about how I think technology or abusing technology can have some negative side effects. Now I want to start off with, have you guys seen the movie WALL-E?
Yes. Oh yeah.
In that movie, I'm sure you guys, since you guys have seen it, if you guys remember the part where you know, the robot goes to the other planet and you see everybody there and everybody's kind of like kept to themselves, kind of like in their own little world with these little screens and stuff like that. No one's really interacting and people look kind of unhealthy, and if you realize they're all kind of overweight. And so sometimes I think, when I saw the movie, I thought to myself, like, I think if we continue to abuse technology or use it for everything, every little thing, like, we're kind of headed in that direction. I think we need to be careful about what we let technology do for us. So, like, for example, there's people push buttons on doors to open them now. Like, you know, we're using the online food service. You want to eat or something. I was watching The Big Bang Theory, and Raj orders like lobsters online or whatever. And just there's a lot of little things like that, robotic vacuums. But they actually interviewed the producer of WALL-E, his name's Stanton, and this is what he said on that. Well, when I started outlining humanity in the story, I asked myself, what if everything you needed to survive, healthcare, food, was taken care of, and you had nothing but a perpetual vacation to fill your time? What if that result of all that convenience was that all your relationships become indirect? Nobody's reaching out to each other. And that's kind of how it is. Like, sometimes I go to restaurants and I see people eating at the same table. There's like 4 people, and they're each on their phone. And I'm just like wondering, like, are you guys eating with each? Like, are you guys like there to eat with each other? Or are you guys talking to them? Like, what's going on here? And sometimes it's what's it called? Tempting, but I don't know. It's one of those you have to draw a line. And also there's LA Times did a talk with Larry Rosen, a psychologist at CS Domingos Hills with 25 years of studying how technology affects people. And he says parents also have to contend with other forms of social networking, like sending and receiving text messages. The average teenager sends out more than 2,000 texts per month. This is an overwhelming example of information that can lead to problems with like sleep, not only to problems with sleep and concentration, but also physical stress, according to experts. Rosen cited the example of a Chicago teenager who developed carpal tunnel syndrome and needed wrist braces and pain medication after sending an average of more than 100 texts per day, which I'm sure a lot of this might even send. But, yeah. And so yeah, pretty much it's kind of like what I think is a problem with that. My mom, she's from a ranch in Mexico, and over there they don't have too much technology. And if you go, sometimes I go back on vacation and notice a lot of them are pretty good health. I mean, a lot of old ladies are still like in their 90s walking around kind of quickly and kind of alert mentally and stuff like that. And it's because they don't have wheelchairs and cars and stuff, and they eat a lot, you know, just they don't have TV, so they kind of, you know, just doing their thing elsewhere. And also Maggie Fox with NBC News talked to economist Ross DeVol. And he says it was a huge. He was studying this, and he says it was a huge undertaking just trying to collect all this data. DeVol says, but they came up with a fairly precise pattern. For every 10% point increase in information, communications technology investments, the obesity rate climbs 1.4 percentage point on average. So that's kind of like, there is like mathematical data where you can actually see how the more you use technology, kind of sometimes obesity is tied in with that too, the little climb. There's a lot of different places you can go, but that's just one of them. So in conclusion, I highly believe that it's possible to abuse technology. And it can result in not participating in social events, laziness, obesity, and depression. So the only thing I encourage everyone is to realize when too much is too much. And you know, because we all love technology, it's good, but just realize when too much is too much, and to stay active and engage with the people and the world around us.
All right, the general topic area is stated very clearly, and I think that you've got information in all of the, in three of the categories, definitely. You've got a couple of pieces of testimony that you're citing. You've got some statistical information in couple of places, one on the frequency with which teens text, and that last one that talks about the investment in communication technology being related to increases in obesity rate. I thought that was an interesting statistical correlation. WALL-E, of course, is kind of an example that you're using, but I didn't think that it really works for an example because it's not so much a citation that you're presenting here. Maybe the Stanton quote would allow you to use it that way. But I didn't have to worry about that because later on you had a good example of a teen with carpal tunnel syndrome who had the problems from all the texting. That clearly fits into the example category. So you've got all of the categories that you needed to have covered there. And I thought you also cited the information very clearly when you're presenting it, and I appreciate that. I think you did a good job on that. Your delivery, I think you've got a very effective voice within the range that you are speaking. You are engaged, and there's good variety. I did think right at the beginning that you started speaking before you're in front of the audience. It's kind of like while you're walking up, you're introducing yourself, and you want to wait until you're in front and everybody's focused on you before you get started. It just felt a little bit rushed there. All right. Thank you.